Hi guys, it's Evie here. I thought I would, since it is the end of June, halfway through the year, I thought I would do a video of all the 10 favourite books I've enjoyed so far. So the first one, kind of a bit of a cheat, but it's a series because I just couldn't distinguish between all of them, but it is the Hunger Games series. I know I'm super late to the party, but I watched the films first and really enjoyed them, and was a bit anxious that I might not enjoy the books so much. Films have actually stuck really quite true to the books. I'm a little bit anxious to watch and read Mockingjay, the final one, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's really easy to read. You follow Katniss. She's in District 12. Well, the capital use the Hunger Games to control the districts and to so that they refrain from rebelling again. And Katniss accidentally gives cause to an uprising, so yeah, love it, and I really love actually such a strong female character, so that's great. Music and Malice in Hurricane Town. I have to put in a little disclaimer that Alex is one of my friends, but obviously I'll give an honest opinion, and I've told her already, I've done a review already to say that this is by far my most favourite book of hers. You might see in the back, so this is a proof which was gifted to me, but if you can see, work out there, that is actually, I actually purchased another copy, and actually you can see those are actually all her books anyway, so but yeah, this, you follow Jude Lomax, who is being haunted by the Kaju Queen, and they're both kind of using each other to get what they want, and there's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of supernatural things, like there's a ghost, there's phantom, and there's lots of dark black magic, and yeah, so it's set in New Orleans, and you really feel that you're there. You can smell it, you can taste the food, you can sense the eeriness, so really favourite read so far. Okay, next one is Turning the Tide on Plastic, and by Lucy Seigle. This was recommended by Lauren and the Books. If I can work out how to do it, I will put her a link to her YouTube channel, because she really got me into really good recommendations, and one of which was Turning the Tide on Plastic, and just how important, actually, me mistaking, and probably a lot of other people have mistaken, that actually thinking that recycling means that we've done our bits to help save the planet, to help combat against global warming. But this book actually tells you why recycling should actually be our last resort, actually our last step. It goes through 8 steps plan: record, reduce, replace, refuse, reuse, refill, rethink, recycle. The very last step is recycle, and so because of that, it's actually brought me to tears a few times, just how we are polluting the planet, the wildlife, and ourselves, actually. So it's a really important read. I can't bang on this enough. I recommend this to all my friends. If I could, I would put this in the hands of everyone that I know, because it's such an important read. So I will do a separate review on this. The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, and you follow Briseis. It's her point of view of the war and of the Trojan War, and she becomes a kind of like a pawn between Agamemnon and Achilles, and the writing is so beautiful, the pace is so quick. I love the complex sort of like mixed feelings that she has towards Patroclus, towards Achilles. One she fears, and the other one she has a really odd sort of relationship, not romantic, but it's almost as if like your Stockholm syndrome, where she was a queen and they encaptured her as a bed slave basically. But it's a gorgeous read. So The Hate You Give, but it's an anagram of thug, by Angie Thomas. This is beautiful. It's so you follow Star, and she's in the car with her friend, and they're stopped by the police, and her friend who's driving the car is pulled out of the car and searched, and he gives a bit of an attitude and he reaches for something. The police officer thinks he's reaching for a gun, and he's killed. It happens quite early on, so I'm not spoiling too much for you, but that's the events of it. Spirals to how Black Americans are treated in that area, and it is I think it was also influenced by a true life event as well, and it makes you question a lot of things, and you still are questioning police brutality, police attitude towards Black people in America. A Pinch of Magic. This is a children's book, was it a mid-grade book I think, by Michelle Harrison. So you follow three sisters who are cursed. They are trying to find out how to unravel that curse, that follows within their family. And there's magic, so they're witches, and you follow them travelling in and out with their magic. And ultimately I love how the elements of sisterhood in there, but also keeping to their ages, their different personalities and their quirkisms. It's really heartwarming. Proud. It's an anthology, I think it is. That's compiled by Juno Dawson. Basically, it's an anthology of I think there's poems, there's short stories, with the subject of being proud and about pride. The graphics in there are so beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't she hot? I should do a separate book review on that one. Okay. The next one is From the Wreck, and this was on the recommendation of Simon at Savage Reads. I'm sure you'll know him, right? If I figure out again, I will link both his and Lauren and the Books YouTube channels. This was his favourite number one book of 2018. I thought, wow, I must give that a go then. So I managed to get a proofread of this, so this is gifted, and it's about a man. He is shipwrecked along with this woman, and when they are rescued, she disappears. He's trying to find her, but she's turned into a cat because she's an alien, and she kind of bonds with his son. I don't really want to spoil too much of it, but it's how all three of them somehow kind of like link with each other. And I like that it's his fixation is kind of bringing his own downfall, and how it's tormenting him. How I read it was more that it was his guilt as well for surviving as well. It's almost as if that the happiness that you get afterwards, you don't feel you deserve it because it's kind of borrowed happiness. I like that twisted sort of psyche. And one that I've just finished reading, it is Love Interrupted. For those who don't know, that Simon Thomas was a TV presenter, and his wife Gemma was diagnosed with got a rare type of leukemia, and 3 days later after her diagnosis she died, and it's his memoir about the events leading up to it, and also him going through his grief and his depression, his anxiety, how he's coping with his bereavement. And it is he gives a few steps afterwards, and he does say that it's personal. It is not going to be a step-by-step guide of how to deal with all grief and bereavement, but it's all personal. Some people would want to be surrounded by friends constantly. Some people want to be on their own and not want to talk about it. But it's so raw and so honest, and it teaches you how fragile life is. And also I like that it gives a bit of awareness on mental health as well, where some people are afraid to talk about their mental illness for all sorts of reasons. Could be they feel ashamed, or they're embarrassed, or they're worried that nothing's going to be able to help them. They're worried people will judge them. But I love that, when people are open about it, and someone as, public figures who talk about it, who really, really helps. It makes it, not normalises it, but makes you feel okay to talk about it. I love that openness, and it made me cry on several occasions. I had to put it down a couple of times, and I summarised a few accounts of it to my mum, and I made her cry as well. So, but it's so raw and so honest, and I really applaud him for being so honest about this. Those are the books so far of the year. I'd be interested to know how many of them are actually my top 10 books for the whole year. So if you've read them, do let me know your thoughts on these books, and I don't know what my next book is. Maybe June wrap up, maybe. So I've read a couple this month, but yeah, so maybe a fit. Can I fit it in one